All right, guys. Well, this is the Monday morning virtual sales training call, and David and I today are going to be going through the script. We've got it up on our website. It's legacylife.co/virtual, and primarily for the script, the way that we kind of broke it down is uh, we've got two main lead sources that a lot of us that are virtual that we're working right now. We're working vertical leads and we're working ethos leads. I know that there's a bunch of other leads out there. I know people are working all sorts of different stuff. Here's what I want you guys to get on this is regardless of the lead type that you're working, really the only thing that's different on the script is the intro. Like that first 30 seconds, like what do you say at the very beginning? If you're calling teachers, hey, it's different than vertical, it's different than ethos, but virtually everything else is the same. And you'll see us kind of go through this today because we're going to role play through it so you guys can see it. Um, that it, everything is pretty much the same, and we're breaking it down. Like we have a lot of people that are one call closing certain client, certain lead types, and other people that are two call closing certain lead types. Either way is fine. In fact, if you really think about it, it's all the same stuff. We're either just doing it in two calls or we're doing it in one call. Okay, so there's kind of part one and part two. Okay, and maybe part two happens on the first phone call. Maybe it happens on the second phone call. Doesn't really matter. The same things are coming out of your mouth for the most part. So we're going to go through this with you guys, and we're going to go through it with you, fairly quickly. And David, is there anything that you want to add on there before we roll through the script here and role play?
I think that's good. So, I guess we can talk some more of this out, but we'll remake this into a video, and the thought process behind all this. Nick's has started all kinds of agents. All of us are on his team, and he's constantly starting new agents. I've had a couple new agents come on recently as well, and we're just trying to fine tune and make it easy for when all of you to fix how and hopefully help you improve your virtual sales, and two, as you bring other agents on, we're just trying to give you a track to run on and your people to run on and get them up and running as smooth as possible. So we kind of refined the script. I'll go through calling as the agent for an ethos lead. Nick will be an ethos lead for me, and then I'll be the vertical client, and Nick will be the agent on that. And we'll just in about 10 minutes or less for each of us, over these next few minutes, we'll just go through it, show you. I'm going to do a 2-call close, he's going to do a 1-call close, and we'll kind of show you roughly, here's what we're saying, and here's kind of roughly what it looks like. And if it's helpful, Nick, I can go first. I'll share my screen. Can you just do you see my whole screen or just the script?
We just see the script.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's kind of roll through it. You can be an ethos lead for me, maybe somebody, in their like early 40s or something like that. And, we'll show you what it looks like handling an objection, what you properly do to get enough of the info without making it take way too long. And then we'll go into the close and getting an objection on the close and how you still push through to put the application in. So, Nick, you ready to rock?
Sir.
All right. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Nick?
Yeah.
Hey, Nick. It's just David with Legacy Life. I was getting back to you about that life insurance application you started with one of our carriers, Ethos. I was supposed to see what ended up happening with that. Do you remember, did it kick you out from like a health reason, or was the quote too high? What happened, I guess?
Yeah, it was I think it was a health thing or maybe the quote, but I'm at work right now, man. So maybe we
Oh,
call me later or something.
yeah, no problem, man. You just have a quick like 2 minutes just to see if it even makes sense to give you a call back? I guess I just got to check a couple things real fast.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So basically, here's what I think happened, Nick, and that's why I wanted to verify is that, the form you filled out, for whatever reason, it only like does one AI generated quote, but we have like 30 carriers we're working with. So my guess is it wasn't even quoting you kind of best case scenario anyways. I mean, tell me this, do you have life insurance currently?
Yeah, I have something already. Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you remember what the company's name is?
I set it up a while ago. I don't remember.
Gotcha. Do you know like about how long ago do you think you set it up?
It was a while back.
A
I think it
while
was in
back.
my 20s or 30s.
Like your 20s? Gotcha. Do you know roughly how much the coverage was?
Yeah, I've got 500,000.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then what are you paying roughly a month?
I'm paying $32 a month.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Hey, you remember most than more than most do. I hardly remember what I had for breakfast. So we got all that. So okay, so I mean, you got like 500K. I guess what made you feel like maybe that wasn't enough, or I guess what had you looking in the first place? Do you remember?
I just wanted to add another 500,000.
500. Okay, cool. And then any guess on when that might be going up in price? If you got that a long time ago, I mean that's a pretty good deal you got there. It's just usually those are set up where they'll eventually kind of go up after so many years. Do you remember if they told you anything about that?
I have no idea.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, we can kind of circle back and figure that out. If it's helpful to you, I can double check. So, you did, I guess what made you feel like, let's say that 500 would have been good for a long time. So what made you feel like that wasn't necessarily, going to cut it?
I think it's going to run out at some point. I don't know
Oh,
how. I think it's going to be running out.
oh, okay. So you were filling this out trying to just, be a little more proactive before they charge you, five mortgage payments for a month of the life insurance.
I guess so.
Okay. So okay, see if we can maybe get something that goes a little further from that. I guess what are you hoping, that 500,000 would even do, Nick? Like, I mean, if you get hit by a bus next month, why do you need the life insurance in the first place?
Yeah, I just wanted to take care of my wife and kids, and I figured 500,000 get them through that rough patch.
How many kids you got?
Three.
Oh, bless your heart, man. I'm trying to keep up with one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And then is your wife working full time as well, or?
She's home with the kids.
Home with the kids. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So if something, God forbid, had happened to you next week, and they kind of lose your income for working and whatnot, do you have any idea what that would look like? Kind of financially for your wife and the kids. Like, would it get tight? In a few years or a few months? I mean, would stuff get maybe hard right away without any life insurance?
If we didn't have anything, it would be pretty tough, pretty quick. Yeah, but that's why I got 500,000, and I want to make sure that I keep it.
Yeah. Hey man, as a husband and a father myself, like I certainly commend you. I call that second husband insurance too. We don't need those wives going to get married too quick on us. They don't have to.
That's right. That's right.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know it's running out one night. Obviously, you're at work. I'll get you through. I got like 2 minutes left. We can get you kicked out of here. Do you remember? Before you got into this ethos thing and trying to find, like, how long you been trying to find something that isn't gonna expire so soon?
I just started looking the past couple of months.
Okay. Sorry, a few months. Okay. Well,
I
so I
remember
mean,
seeing something that my other company in here, it's called Bright House. They sent me a thing saying that my price was going to be going up. I think that's why, maybe a couple months ago. So I wanted to.
okay.
That's when I started looking.
Gotcha. So if we could find something, obviously it still fits the budget. I mean, it's probably not going to be the same cost it was 20 years ago when you got that set up or however long ago. But if we can find something that obviously still fits the budget, I can reshop it around, like I said, with all the carriers and just still give you the peace of mind knowing the wife and kids are taken care of and you don't have to lose all of that coverage. We can kind of get you through the rest of your working years, everything. If we find all that fits the budget, like, is there any reason you wouldn't want to get something set up?
No, just so long as it fits the budget.
Yeah, for sure. And then let me just double check a couple things. You sound like you're pretty healthy. Are you a tobacco user, Nick?
No.
Okay. And then any major health stuff, like did you ever have cancer, diabetes, heart issues?
Yeah, I had cancer a couple years ago.
Oh, gotcha. Do you remember it's a couple years ago, maybe like 2020, 21, 22,
It was the first part of 2022. I got it removed.
or early 2022? Okay. And do you remember what kind of cancer it was?
Yeah, it was skin cancer.
Okay. So there's like a malignant, there's a like a basal cell, a squamous cell. Was it
It
like an
was
EC
yeah, it was
one?
it was the squamous.
The squamous one. Okay, gotcha. Hey man, that probably still pretty scary. Just hearing the C word and everything.
Yeah, yeah, it
For sure.
was.
Okay, so it was just like, was that one of those like 1 day treatments? They're done, or did it linger?
Yeah, they just I had a mole, they took it off, and it turns out that it was the squamous.
Okay, so got the squamous one, well, and then never had any other recurrence, no other type of cancer or anything.
No, no,
Okay, cool. How about medications? You taking anything?
not taking anything.
Awesome, man. You sound like a marathon runner. Good for you. Get that one squamous cell done, and you're good to go. What's your height and weight, by the way?
I'm 5'9", 180.
180. Okay. And then, I mean, any other crazy stuff you can think of, or any other health scares? Did you used to be on medications? Like, what'll happen is they'll look into it like the last 5, 10 years of just like maybe like a prescription that you used to be on that you're not now. Like anything I should be aware of?
No, I think well, actually, there was something back in 2020. They did put me on like an anxiety med.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Did they call it like situational anxiety, or like you remember kind of what was going on?
COVID was going on, stressed me out.
Gotcha. And then, do you remember what the medication was called?
I have no idea. It was like a little med. It was like I don't know, some sort of anxiety med, and
Okay.
took it for 6 months and then stopped taking it.
Cool. Yeah. Got it. They unlocked the country and back to normal life you went.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha, man. Well, yeah, like I was saying, Nick, I'll the quote you filled out. I'm glad I caught you. Like until you talk to a human, sometimes you get stuck where it just does this like stupid AI generated quote thing. Like you sound like you're in great health, man. I had a maybe a scare here and there and whatnot, but I certainly think we might be able to find something a little more beneficial to you. Let me do this. I know you're at work. I got a couple other clients right now too. What's your schedule like tomorrow if I give you a call back and kind of go over a little more what I'm able to find and knock the rest of this boring life insurance out from there.
Yeah, I should be around midday.
Midday. I had like a 2 or a 3:30 open. Either of those work for you?
Yeah, two's good.
2. Okay, cool. So yeah, again, my name's David. Nick, I'll shoot you a text here. I'll let you jump back at work, and then I'll just get you so you got a face to the name and everything. And then I'll give you a call back tomorrow too. And like I said, hopefully we'll get you squared away where they won't have to charge you an arm and a leg and take what your firstborn to afford that payment that the Bright House one's probably going to want.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Nick. Well, nice meeting you, man. I'll shoot you that text now and I'll give you a call back.
Okay.
Next day, call you back at 20 minutes before I send you a text. Hey, Nick, it's David, your life insurance guy, going to be giving you a call here, just reminding you for our 2 o'clock appointment. Call him back up, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Nick, it's David, your life insurance guy. How are you today, man?
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, good man. Hey, so just give me a call back to kind of go through those options. Just let me kind of double check just to make sure we're still setting this up right. So basically, you had that 500,000 of the Bright House coverage, and it's going to be going up in price. And so you still felt like you wanted that much coverage. You just obviously didn't want to pay what their arm and leg was, and you just kind of wanted to like relock in a different rate, make sure the wife and kids are taken care of. Especially in through those working years and everything like that. So as long as we kind of find something that isn't going to skyrocket in price every year, get something reasonable. It sounds like that might give you a little more peace of mind, so got the coverage. Do I still have that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I do have good news. Like I kind of shopped around with all the carriers. I think I kind of found best case, scenario. So, here's what's nice, Nick. Some of these companies like they hear that C word of cancer, and like it can be a really big deal. And then some companies, obviously some stuff went on with through COVID and affected a lot of people. And I know you kind of had some mental health stuff maybe before, not so much now. This company, they're just really kind of more on the lenient side of all of that, which is really cool. Like they're not going to consider your skin cancer as like lung cancer or something, like brain cancer or something big. And they're also really understanding with like the mental health stuff, which is really cool. So like I think we can get you qualified if we can. Like it's just kind of like great. It'd be a perfect plan A. It's really just kind of the best thing out there. They're not going to make you jump through a whole bunch of hoops. They're not going to make you, go have to give blood and pee in a cup and, answer 5,000 more questions. Just, if we could get it, it'd be a pretty easy process where, you don't have to stress out about this too much longer. So it's a company called American Amicable, 500,000, which is I know kind of what you were looking for. 500,000 for a 20-year period would be $153 a month. So is that in the budget, near the budget, close to the budget?
Well, I'm paying 32 a month for that right now. So, it's a little higher than I thought.
Yeah, totally get it. And that's the thing. It's great, for what you had and stuff before. It's just, obviously, now being 42 instead of 22, they're gonna kind of charge a little bit more. It's just, and did we ever figure out what the Bright House one was going up to next year? Because I know it's 32 now, but you had that thing running out. Did we ever figure out what that was going up to?
Yeah, I looked at the paper and it's going up to 227.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then did it tell you on there like how it was going up like each year after that too?
No, they just said 227 is what it was going to
Gotcha.
be.
Yeah, because yeah, I know that's kind of tough with that. I wish we could just keep it 32 every year. But yeah, so it sounds like it was going up to two something. Obviously, 153 is going to be a little more affordable from there. But really, what's most important, Nick, regardless of what the cost is and how much the coverage is, you just got to find something that fits the budget. Because I don't want this stressing you out. This week, the week of Christmas, any week, kind of moving forward from there. So 500,000, that was 150. If you wanted to, 400,000 was 112. Is that maybe a little closer in the budget of what you're looking for?
I really do want the 100 or the 500,000. I
Yeah.
really do want
And
the
like I was
car.
saying, if we could get it qualified, like it's kind of one of those price beaters because instead of it going up to 220 and then they raise it up again 12 months later, like this one will just kind of lock all the way in and basically until you're retiring as well. So yeah, the 500,000 for 20, it's 150. It's kind of kind of best case scenario if we could get it qualified, as long as it would still fit the budget for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to talk to my wife about it.
Yeah, totally get that. And that's not really a problem. So I guess really all we're doing today, Nick, because I know you know the ones expiring. What I'm trying to kind of figure out is just even if we can still get you qualified. Like I said, they are pretty understanding with kind of some of the past mental health stuff, some situational anxiety stuff like that, and they're a little more lenient on this type of cancer. I don't know for sure if you're qualified. It's one of those like if we can get you qualified, I don't want you like getting your hopes up for like the 150 and then you get stuck, having to do the Bright House one after. Would it be reasonable maybe today? I guess what I would suggest, if appropriate, we put the application in. We don't have to set it up to pay today. Do you know when you normally pay that Bright House one? What day of the month usually?
Only on the 15th.
On the 15th. Yeah. So, again, if you were my brother, here's kind of what I would suggest. Maybe we put the application in today because you want coverage. We just got to make sure we can get it covered. Let's see if we can get you approved. We can set it up to start on the 15th because I don't want you paying, two different you don't need to pay. You already paid your other one. It's good till the 15th of November anyway. No need to pay another one today. Why don't we just put the application in, see if we can get you approved, and then between now and then, you and your wife can kind of reach out about all that. Obviously, it's going to be lower than maybe what was coming, but if we, the insurance company's just going to have to think about it too. If you get declined, like I just don't want you to get your hopes up and your wife's excited, and then now we're stuck back at plan B or C. Would it be reasonable just to double check to make sure we can, and then between now and the 15th, if we need to alter something, up or down, we can always do that too.
Okay. Yeah. How long is that going to take?
Probably another like I don't know 7-8 minutes or so. So your date of birth was 1/13 of 88, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Perfect.
my
And then your emails, and now I'm into the application.
boom.
Cool. Do you want to go right into yours and then we can recap, or how do you want
Yeah.
to do it?
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me get this pulled up here and I'll share my screen. So that's, and that's how it'll go a lot of times with Ethos. And I probably gave David, I gave him two objections at the end there, kind of by mistake. But yeah, that's how it'll go a lot of the time. And if you called Ethos, you kind of know. So for vertical, so now David's going to be a vertical lead. So maybe a little bit older than somebody for Ethos. I'm going to call him, and this is going to be a one call close. So that one was two call. This one's going to be one call. It's all the same stuff. It's just we're doing on one call versus two. So ring ring,
Hello?
David.
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, David, it's Nick with Legacy Life. I'm just getting back with you about that form you filled out about the life insurance. It was the one where you put your favorite vegetable and you put cauliflower.
Yeah, I already took care of that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So you already got your life insurance taken care of?
Yep, I already got it. I appreciate it though.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no worries. And how long ago, David, did you get it taken care of?
Oh, about a month ago or so.
Okay. And who did you end up going with? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got that Globe Life.
Oh, no. You got Globe Life?
Yeah, what's wrong with Globe Life?
Okay. Gotcha. Hold on. Did they tell you about that policy, David?
Well, I don't know. They told me some stuff. I don't really know how it all works.
Okay. So the Globe works a certain way, and I'm not sure why they got you Globe. Did you just like call in, or how did you end up getting that policy?
Oh, I've had all kinds of people calling me, Nick. I don't remember.
Okay, gotcha. And how much coverage did you end up getting with Globe?
It was like 25,000, I believe.
Okay, so you got 25,000. Yeah, I see on the form here that you put you wanted 25 to 50,000. And David, what do they have you paying for the 25,000?
Oh, it's like 125 or 130 a month, something like that.
Okay, gotcha. So Globe, do you Globe, the way that Globe works is they kind of put you in there with the people with cancer and current cancer and
I don't have
congestive heart.
cancer.
Yeah. So they kind of have you paying the prices of the cancer people, with Globe. But don't worry about it. We'll get you set up here. So you've got Globe. You're paying around 125, $130 a month. And David, what had you filling out the form? Because you just filled this out yesterday. And usually when someone fills this out, there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a motivation behind it. What has you looking for life insurance in the first place?
Well, I got to cover, make sure Betty's taken care of. We just put her brother Harold down a couple months ago, and it was a disaster. We had to go door to door getting Tootsie Rolls sold just to cover the cremation. I don't ever want to do that again.
Okay. So you're really wanting to set this up to take care of Betty.
Yes, yeah, she's been my wife 32 years.
Okay. And okay, that makes a lot of sense. And so you just want to make sure that when that day comes, hey, she doesn't have to go sell Tootsie Rolls or any of that kind of stuff to put you in the ground and take care of all those final expenses like you did with
Yes.
Harold. Okay, I gotcha. And with that Globe Life, David, did they explain to you how it's got a 2-year wait on there? Like if something happened next week or next month that they wouldn't pay out the 25,000. Did they explain that to you?
No, Betty wouldn't get the money.
No. So on that one, the way that it works, because they're putting you in there with the cancer people, there's a 2-year wait as far as getting the death benefit on it.
Uh,
Yep, yep. That's okay. I'll help you fix it. I'll help you fix it for sure. So, we're setting this up to take care of Betty. And why are you looking for 25,000? Like how'd you come up with 25,000?
well, just that cremation, even for her brother, was like 8,000 or something. And I'm not having him burn my ashes. I want the normal one.
You want the normal? Gotcha, gotcha. And David, does Betty have coverage as well?
I She might have something from her work or something.
Okay, gotcha. Well, we'll talk about Betty for
Yeah, I
sure.
I I retired last year, so I don't have anything now.
Okay, gotcha. So if we keep what you currently have, what does it really look like for Betty? If that one doesn't pay out, like I'm telling you, and that's kind of how Globe Life works. Would Betty be out there selling Tootsie Rolls, or what would it? Do you guys have other stuff to kind of help offset the funeral expenses and final expenses?
If it didn't get the life insurance, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Like if you just keep that Globe Life, and let's say, the way that one works is they're just going to pay you back, the premiums plus a little bit of interest of what you paid in. So let's say, you're 6 months into it, you put in $700, and that's all Betty gets. What does it really look like for her if all she gets is
She'd only have
700?
about $1,000. She'd have to sell the car or something.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, we can definitely fix this and yeah, tell me, David, if we could find something that gets you the 25,000, and it's day one coverage. So like the Globe Life, like I said, it's got a couple year wait on there. If this one is day one coverage, so you've got, something happens next week, next month, next year, Betty's totally taken care of. If we could find something that covers that and it fits the budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't get something that something set up?
I guess not. No.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I'm gonna do, David, is I'm gonna start plugging this in, and let's just see what you can qualify for, and let's get you as much as you can get, and I'll kind of tell you, Globe Life is generally pretty overpriced, and so we can find you something really good here, David. What's your birthday?
The birthday is June 5th, 1961.
Okay. Oops, I can't type over here, David. All
I
right.
hate those computers.
Me too. All right. We're looking for 25,000. And so you're currently 63. David, are you a tobacco user?
No, quit. I quit about 20 years ago.
Okay, good for you. And anything major as far as health goes. And David, when I say major, I mean things like heart attack, strokes, mini strokes, cancer,
I
diabetes that
told no
requires
cancer.
insulin.
No, no.
Okay, yep, no cancer. Anything else? Heart attacks, diabetes, anything like that?
I got the diabetes.
Okay, and do they have you taking insulin or is it just metformin?
The pills, and I started that insulin like last year, I think it was.
Okay. Okay, so they got you on metformin and insulin. And David, what was your most recent A1C number? Do you know that?
Like 7.
Okay. A1C was 7. And then what other and nothing else major, right? So really just the diabetes, but no heart attacks or strokes, mini strokes, none of that.
No, no, none of those.
And
Just the
anything
diabetes.
anything else kind of out of the ordinary, like COPD, or do they got you taking any inhalers or anything like that?
Nope. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I take a CPAP, but
Okay.
I got that sleep apnea.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. And then what other prescriptions do they have you taking?
Oh, I got that lisinopril
Okay. Lisinopril.
for just blood pressure.
Yep, that's just for high blood pressure.
And then is it Losartan, the cholesterol one?
Losartan's another one for high blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did they have you taking something for
Yeah, I
cholesterol?
used to take the Losartan.
Okay, gotcha. But you're not taking it anymore?
No, just that other L one, the lisinopril.
Okay, gotcha. So as far as medications go, they've got you on metformin. Just started insulin about a year ago. Losartan, but you stopped taking it, and then lisinopril. Is that right? Am I missing
Yeah,
any?
just that and my CPAP.
Okay, gotcha. And in the past 6 months, have you had any uncontrolled diabetes?
No, never.
Okay. And when did they first diagnose you with the diabetes?
Like 55, I think, 56.
Okay, gotcha. A little while ago. So you're 63, so maybe 8 years ago. Okay. All right. Bear with me here, David. Just plugging all this into my system here. Um, all right, just putting the insulin. And you said you started the insulin. It was just 1 year ago, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember what month by chance?
I think it was like August.
Okay, gotcha. August of last year. Okay. And the reason I'm asking some of this stuff, David, is just some of these companies. So you've got the 25,000 with Globe, right? And so these companies are not going to do a medical or anything, but they are gonna look at prescription history, medical database, that kind of thing, and they're going to approve you based off of those things. And there's really a couple of companies that if if you're healthy enough to qualify for a 63-year-old male, they are just by far the best, like kind of by a long shot. Okay. And one of those companies is called Mutual of Omaha. And, based on everything you're telling me here, I think you can qualify for this product. And
Mm-hmm.
they're just the cheapest really in the country for a healthy, 63-year-old male. And, if you can qualify, and I think you can here. So let me just plug it in here. So you've currently got the 25,000 and you're currently paying around, you said 120, $130 a month.
Yeah, well, I think 125.
So we can get you if you can qualify for this. It really is hands down the best. So and again, this with Mutual of Omaha. The 25,000, if you want to keep the 25,000, would be right around $73.09 a month.
Hmm.
Is that in the budget? Is that out of the budget?
Yeah, that might work.
Okay, I mean it's $50 less than what you're paying right now for the same amount of coverage, and this is day one coverage, so you wouldn't have that 2 year wait on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, David, really the next step is just putting an application in. We're going to do that with Mutual of Omaha, like I said, and just takes a couple of minutes here. I did want to ask, if 25,000, that's what you currently have, and you're currently paying the 125, for that same $125 a month, you'd be getting closer, maybe 45 or 40,000. Is that something you'd want to do instead, or just keep the 25?
I think 25 is enough. But Nick, I think I'm good. I'll just keep that globe coverage. I don't want to go through any more of the hassle.
So you're saying that you want to keep the 25,000 that won't pay out right away. That's $125 a month instead of getting the 25,000 that will pay out right away. That's only 73.
Uh, I don't know. I guess probably I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'll help you get out of it. We help people get out of Globe all the time. We'll make sure, and this way Betty's taken care of. Is that fair enough?
You can help me get out of the. I can't pay both of these.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to have you pay both of them. We're just going to have you pay just that, if you get approved with Mutual of Omaha, it's just going to be the $73 a month for the 25,000.
All right, what do you need?
All right. So, hey, I've got your middle initial on the form is E. Is that right?
Yes.
There we go. So you start putting the application in
Cool.
right there.
Perfect. So replaying back. I guess generally speaking, on both of these guys, you always are going to get an objection in the first 30 seconds. If you're not prepared, one, what's the line you're going to say? Rattle it off the same way. You put this, column with this, you put your vegetables this, or hey, it's this guy calling with this, and I did this, and what happened? This happened, or this. You say the same thing every time. If it sounds scripted, if it sounds like you're a robot, if it sounds like you're not confident, if it doesn't sound laid back, you're going to get hung up on. So, first step is fix that. Then you are going every single time to get a 30-second, in the first 30 seconds, an objection. If you don't know what your most common couple of objections are, and you don't know what you're going to say, and that's not going to rattle off of your tongue, you're going to get hung up on. If you master that, and you get permission to engage, where now you're going to start figuring out what coverage they have, what's their why, how long they've been looking, do they have a plan B? Now you get into that. And again, if you don't know what to follow with that, you're going to miss things. On my Ethos one, if you would have missed that Nick had coverage, it was $30 a month, but you would have missed that it's expiring soon. You're sitting there and you're competing with something you cannot beat. So if you don't ask all the questions and you come back to Nick and say, "Hey, Nick, I got a guy and he wants 500,000 of coverage and he is paying $32 a month now and he wants us to beat the price." Nick's going to look at you with a cocked head and not know what to say. But if you come back and you know all of the details, now every policy has good and bad to it. So when you're finding out coverage, you got to get all these details so we can figure out what the hole is to poke in his coverage. So you dig enough and you figure that out, and you can combine that into the why. Now you got to go through enough of the why, get some sort of emotional reason. If you miss the emotion, 9 out of 10 times, that's why you're going to miss the sale. You got to know the basic stuff of the health. So if you don't ask, the worst thing you do is you don't know anything and you quote them something way too good that they can't get. That's no fun. But you also have to use that as your ammunition. And then you are, no matter what they have, good health or bad health, you're going to present it in a way that, hey, if we can get you this, this is a good thing. It's not like, hey, here it is, please take it. It's, you should be running to the podium like you're, submitting an NFL draft pick, running up to the podium because your guy's there and you're excited to make the pick of taking this coverage. That's how we want to present it. So even if they're healthy, still can't guarantee it. If we can get it, this is a good thing for you. I've shopped it around. And they're going to give you an objection after price. You don't have to rattle off all of the prices. Pick one and then see what they say to it. And if you need to, you can adjust. And when they say something, don't do your best to handle that objection and still put the application in right then and there. So if you're ready for the objection on the front end, the back end, and you have some sort of idea what to say in the middle, and you don't sound lost and scripted, this is how everyone can keep improving.
100%. And, we put that script together. A lot of it is what we do, what we say. And here's what I want you guys to realize, like, really, you got to use that script to just get you proficient. Okay. And then once you get used to it, and, maybe everything I said on there wasn't like exactly what's on the script. It's just because we've been doing it for a while. And you get to the point where you're kind of unconsciously competent. Like you're just having a conversation with somebody. But I understand, like, when you're brand new, you might be missing major pieces. So we put that together just so you get the major pieces. Like, hey, here's the things that I need to get from folks on this phone call. Okay, be it a one call, be it a two call, doesn't really matter. Here's how you come back if it is a two call. And if you go for a one call close, the worst thing usually that happens is they're not free at that time. Hey, just move it to a two call close. It's not that big of a deal, but you'll end up making it your own. And again, if some of you guys maybe jumped on since we started this, but we've got that script up on legacylife.co/virtual. And I would say start using it. If you're calling a different lead type that isn't vertical, that isn't ethos, then it's just a different intro, but all the same stuff is pretty much identical. You're really just the first part of the call is like, hey, we got to identify the problem for us, for the client. And then the second part of the call, either, right then and there on that first phone call or on the second part of the second phone call is just, hey, let's present the solution and let's get them signed up for a solution to their problem. Okay. And we're going to be making changes and edits and all that kind of stuff as time goes on. But this is just, again, to get everybody just up to speed of just like, hey, here's what we're saying, here's how we're saying it. You'll notice that like tone makes a big difference. That's another reason why we're doing some of the live dial calls that we're doing, or like basically like dial jam sessions that we're doing, so you guys can hear people that are really really good making sales, how not only what they say but how they say it. So, hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And we do have a couple questions on here if you guys want to hang out and go through that. David, is there anything you want to add before
Yeah,
we wrap
I
this
think
up?
like a good difference. There's no perfect way to do it. So like I truly, this is how Nick and I both talk on the phone. If you notice, I make more jokes. I talk faster, a little more lively. Nick is really calm. He stays professional. I would say Nick sounds more caring than I do. I would say I keep it more lighthearted than he does. It doesn't mean one's right or wrong. And we're both following along. We're paying attention to when we say it, how we say it. And again, it's just do the best to let this stuff roll off your tongue. The biggest advice I can give to agents is talk to them like they're your friend, or like you're chatting with them in a bar. Not that you're in a suit in a stuffy office doing this. Like that to me, and that's how I try to treat it. Like I build rapport with humor, throwing in some of these stupid little jokes here and there and stuff. But like just don't this is already boring stuff anyways for the person to deal with, and then you're chasing them around virtually. So it's nice we're not making them come into the State Farm office or whatever and sit at a desk and fill out paperwork, but at the same time it's not all that fun. So I like to make it a little more lively, and Nick is the absolute master of, like, you can just tell he cares. And if anything, give a crap. That's the first thing Nick ever taught me, was try to make a friend and see if you can help them. But like, just care about the person, care about their situation. Because we all know people. You go pull up your social media today, and I bet you somebody on here can go find someone today that's posting about this, someone tragically passed away. And 99 out of 100 times that person doesn't have any life insurance and care. I mean, that poor family, it horrifically blows my mind what that looks like. We all have our own stories of our own family and friends. We know those situations. So like, what we're doing is helping people. They fill out a form. They need what we have. Let's just be a person that, gives a rip about them to get them taken care of. Gives a rip to get them out of the crappy globe life. Gives a rip to help them not have to go pay for one that's jacking up 10 times the price. Gives a crap enough to make sure they have coverage where if something happens to them in the next 2 years, they're still covered. Cares enough to get them 100,000 more coverage for the same price. Just care about the people.
100%. 100%. Couple of questions on here and then we'll wrap it up. What happens if they say they need to think about it and then you get them to commit to seeing if they get approved, then they do get approved? They're technically insured at that point, right? So what does that conversation look like?
So what you're doing, specifying in that, hey, let's see if we can get you approved. We're also specifying in there, hey, so what we're going to do, hey, we're just going to see if we can get you approved today. In the application, we can also specify what day the payment's going to come. So it doesn't mean you have to make a payment today. We're just going to see if it's approved day. So let's say it does get approved. You chat with your wife, Nick, and everything goes smooth, and you like what's going on, and we actually got approved. What day would you like the payment to come? Okay, the 15th hypothetically. Okay, so we'll put that on the application. So now they're not covered until they make the first payment, but them knowing they're approved and now we just got to get them to keep it on the 15th is a whole lot different story than you wait to follow up with them on the 15th and they say, never mind, or they just don't ever answer the phone. That's why we're continuing to push, and we're specifying you don't have to make the payment today. We're just getting applied. And you'd be surprised how many of those people will still stay. And there's a few things we'd have to do to kind of tighten up that sale and everything still so it doesn't fall off. But yeah, you're just specifying to them today's the applying, not the first payment. But we're going to specify when the first payment is during the application process.
And I'll even explain to them, you guys, like, hey, so I know you've got that coverage at Bright House. It's the price is going to be going up. We're going to apply for this one. And we're not going to do anything with that Bright House until you get approved. You know what I mean? Because we just don't want any lapses in coverage. So like, hey, if we get you approved, then I'll kind of walk you through the process of stopping the Bright House, and that way you're not getting double charged as well. Like, you just be clear with them, like just explain it to them, or same thing with the guy, okay, he's got Globe, the globe sucks, but hey, he's still got something there. It's like, hey, we're not going to touch the globe life until you get approved with this one. I think you've got a really good shot, but let's make sure that you get approved first, and then I'll kind of walk you through the process of getting out of that globe life policy. Um, let's say I like how often you say if you get approved. You keep things conditional. It's clever. Yeah. And here's the thing too is like as agents, we're so excited to make a sale that we're trying to sell somebody on a product, and we don't know that they're going to get approved. Like how many of us? Okay, this is everybody, but like you put an application in, the person's like, I don't take anything. You know what I mean? And turns out like they take some stuff. You know what I mean? Like you get back and like oh yeah, they're on schizophrenia medication. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, and you don't want to promise them like, hey, oh yeah, you're gonna be totally fine. It's like, hey, we got to put an application here. We got to make sure that you get approved for this. Before we change any of that other stuff. And it's just that way you're not verbally giving them the farm before you can. You're not promising them something. It's like, hey, Mutual of Omaha's got to think about it too. So we don't know that you're approved or not. And that's the language that I would use. Okay. Like a lot of us get stuck into using language like, oh yeah, here's your quote. And I just if you're virtual, get the word quote out of your vocabulary and start telling them, here's your options. Okay. Or and that's the way that I would phrase that. And using that language around being approved, like, hey, let's see if we can get you approved. It's very helpful, and it puts them in their place where they're not necessarily the one in control. You and the insurance company are a little bit more in control than they are.
Yeah.
Let's see here, and then I saw someone ask, like, I saw when you did the quote, the first thing said 15-year term with Moo. What made you go IULE? That's a really good question. I didn't sit there and explain that, while we were going through that, but I started to feel like that. So the guy's got a final expense policy. He filled out a form for final expense, but I started to get the vibes like, okay, he's healthy enough where we don't necessarily need to go final expense, okay, to cover the need of final expense. And these are some of the best situations, and it's very common with vertical where you can fill that need, you can solve that problem of final expense with a non-final expense product like a UL, like an IUL lead with Mutual of Omaha or Forrester Smart UL or AMAM's product or Americo's product, whatever. And so I started to get his health like, okay, he's got diabetes, just some high blood pressure meds, CPAP machine, not a whole lot going on. So I started to quote him on the toolkit under term to see if he can get who he could get approved for there. And Moo came up, but I don't want to sell this guy a 15-year term. He's 63 years old. Okay, like, hey, let me get you out of this globe life so you could die when you're 80 and just have term, right? Like I want to get him permanent coverage, and the IULE is a permanent policy. That's why I made that. But I used the toolkit to see if he could qualify for that policy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys got questions on some of that stuff, just reach out, but post up in the virtual Telegram group. Like, we have all the support, around, especially for those types of situations. Use it and utilize it, and we're here for y'all. So hopefully this was helpful. We're gonna kind of cut this up. We'll put it up on that legacylife.co/virtual website. That way you can kind of see how the script goes, along with being able to download a PDF of the script. And what we're going to do now is, and David, if there's anything you want to add before, then you can. But we're gonna jump off of this Zoom, and I'm actually gonna just jump right back on Zoom, and I'll post up the link in there. But we're gonna start doing live dials. And here's the truth of the matter. Most of us, when we're virtual, aren't making enough dang phone calls. Like we're not working hard enough. Okay. Like, if you're brand new on here and you're like, oh, well, I made $30 in a day and I didn't get anything out of it. That is not enough phone calls. So we put together these virtual, dial jam sessions where we're all dialing together. So if you're sitting on there and you're not dialing, you kind of feel weird. Okay. And we have people on there that are making literally hundreds and hundreds of dials and thousands of dollars, live for you to listen, watch, learn from, ask questions, that kind of thing. So, I'd encourage you guys to jump on that. I'll post the link up in the Telegram group. So, appreciate you guys for hopping on. And we're going to jump on Zoom and let's start making some money, y'all. Appreciate you, David. Thanks for being on, brother.
Thanks, Nick.
All right. See y'all. See you on the virtual dials.